Hello there, Masa's here from Kimono tribe. It's getting chillier and leaves are turning colors, so I think it is appropriate time to make Haori, which is a kimono style jacket. Without further ado, let's get to it. As always, let's start from the materials. The first one is the fabric itself. This is jeans because I wanted to incorporate a little bit of modernity to it, so I decided to pick up this. Tape measure, fabric scissors, seam ripper. This is optional, but it's really nice to have. Thread, any color of your choice. Pins or paper clip works too. Mini sewing kit, or technically speaking, you just need the sewing needles right here. Iron, sewing machine. Once again, sewing machine is definitely optional. If you want to go the traditional route, which is hand sewing, it'll take a little more time, but it can be done. I forgot to mention one more thing, which is a lace. And if you have 10 centimeters, that should be more than enough. Now let's take measurement. A will determine the final length of your haori. Generally, the hem of the haori to be hiding your butt or hiding your knee is considered to be a good length. B is going to be the shoulder width. You want to measure from one end of the shoulder going over the bone that sticks out at the neck to the other side of the shoulder. C is arm length. You want to measure from the bone that sticks out back of your neck going over the shoulder and to your wrist where the bone sticks out. D is the circumference of your body. You want to measure the largest part of your body. Once all the measurements are done, we can plug all the numbers into this formula to get your own measurements. Once we get all the correct measurements, we can take those numbers into a cutting pattern. The very first two strips that is circled in red is going to be the main body of your haori. Next two are going to be your sleeves. And the last one is going to be your color. Okay, so I just pinned where I need to cut. Basically, these are the cutting line except this part. So after cutting, I just laid everything down. You should have 5 different pieces, 2 sleeves, and this long strip that is going on the side, 2 pieces, which becomes the back and front part, and this and the middle part, which is one long strip, which becomes the color. Now, you want to find a shoulder line, which is circled in the screen right now. And from there, you want to extend approximately 4 centimeters and mark out approximately 10 centimeters from the center line, as shown with white arrows. Once you mark down, you can cut those grayed areas off. Okay, now we are going to attach these 2 pieces together. And what you want to do is align everything, the shoulder part. By the way, I will put a diagram here so you can actually understand where I'm going to sew the back side of the fabric together and pin all the way down. Once you finish sewing the middle part, let's iron it so we can actually flip it cleanly. Even though I ironed it, and the crease should be already made, but I just wanted to make sure that nothing is going to kind of slide. This time you want to hide what you already sew. Once the back is sewn together, let's take care of the side. First, you want to measure the final length of your sleeve from the tip of the shoulder. Because you have to attach the sleeves later on, you want to mark it down and not sewing this part. Let's sew the side. And where you want to sew is from the center of the back, and you probably already calculated the D2, and that's where you want to sew. So once you sew the side, let's iron it. Flip this all the way to the shoulder and create a crease, which later becomes the sewing point. Let's continue with the sleeves now. First thing I'm going to do is trifold the side where your hand is going to come out at the end of the day, and basically take care of the edge. I just sew this part and it's completely attached. Now what I'm going to do is fold this again just to make a crease. And this crease line is going to be the sewing line. Now you may want to flip the fabric and measure the final width of your sleeves from the crease line you made, and create whole another crease line on the other side of the sleeves. This line will become the sewing line when you're attaching the sleeves to the Haori body. Once you created two different crease lines parallel to each other, you want to fold the sleeves in half as shown in the diagram with a red line, and align all four sides together. And then you want to calculate the final length of the sleeve from the top. And what you want to do is also create a crease line to where your final length is going to be. The white pin or yellow line in the diagram indicates the halfway point of where your hand is supposed to come out. Now I am pinning down the fabric on the crease lines that we made, going down and to the other side of the sleeves as shown in the green line in the diagram. This becomes the sewing line when you are creating the sleeves. Let's sew all the crease lines except this part, which is going to be the part that attaches to the Haori body. And I'm going to start from right here where the crease line meets. Unfortunately, it seems I did not record this part. However, let's take care of the bottom of the sleeves as circled in the screen. If you have enough fabric left, you can simply trifold and take care of it. If you do not have enough fabric left, what you can do is the second diagram. You can fold two fabrics inwards in the same direction and sew on top. Now, let's add sleeves to the Haori body. First, you want to flip the sleeves inside out, so the correct side will face towards each other. Then you insert the sleeve into the Haori body and align the crease lines we already made together. Basically, align the shoulder first. Then you can pin all the way through around the sleeves and Haori body. Because sewing machine could not reach all the way around the sleeves, I am sewing about 5 centimeters left by hand. Now, let's take care of this part, which is inside flap. I did not have much real estate here, but at least I can fold, so I'm just going to do that. Add pins all the way through, and then sew this part. Because the end of the sleeves are too small to do trifold, I decided to fold towards the trifold we just created and sew all together to take care of this part. So after sewing, it looks like this. It's very clean and nothing is going to come out. Right, so before moving on to adding a color or attaching a color, I decided to take care of the bottom first because I want to align the color to the same line as the bottom line. I tri-folded it. Right, so now let's move on to the color. First thing I'm going to do is simply fold this together, just like that, all the way, and basically iron it and create a crease here. Open it again. So the crease line is made in the center. And what I'm going to do is calculate either 6 or 7 centimeters. I think I'll do 7. And basically create another crease line on both sides. So basically 7 centimeters from this side and 7 centimeters from this side. And create another crease line. And basically this is going to be the line to attach to the body of the Haori. It seems that I did not record the part once again. So I will just demonstrate with extra fabric that I had. So let's pretend this is the front part of your Haori body and this is the color. And what you want to do is mark down about 1 or 2 centimeters in from the edge and place the color like so. And basically pin all the way. First time you are sewing, you want to sew like this, the correct side facing together, and sew on the crease line you made. And when you're closing it, you want to flip this part first, align it, and then sew from the front side. I'll put a diagram here. As you can see, you want to sew just on the edge of the color from the front side, but you are technically sewing the back side. So the stitch line will be barely visible here. Now, before moving on to sewing, let's add these tiny loops shown in the diagram. These 2 tiny loops are called chi, and these allows you to hang what's known as Haori-Himo to close the front part of your Haori. You want to measure 2/5 of the final length of your Haori from the shoulder and add these tiny loops on the back side of your color, both left and right. Once these 2 loops are attached, we can go to sewing. Right, so pretty much everything is complete. Now I just want to take care of these parts where the sewing machine could not reach. Here I am sewing inner fabrics together as shown in a diagram. In this case, the stitch will not be visible from outside. Also, you want to reinforce the sleeves opening here. And for the opening, it's same as the sleeve part. You just have to insert the needle from inside like that. So you insert the needle from inside the fabric to bring it outside, close it off, and then create a tiny loop. Maybe one more time. And then in this loop, I'm just going to insert the needle and thread a few times. Maybe one more. And pull it. Just to reinforce a little bit and take care of this flop. This part is rather easy. You just insert the needle like so on the very tip and flip it over, grab just enough fabric and then bring it back up to where you insert the needle and pull it, and then you can kind of tie it. And you probably want to do it a few more locations. So that was pretty much the entire process that I go through every time I make Haori for him. I'm actually wearing one and it's really nice and cozy. If you have any questions, please drop in a comment below. I will try to answer as many and as much as possible. More kimono projects like this are coming on the way, so please stay tuned, and thank you very much for watching. Until then, wear your story.